Solipsism is the philosophical view that only one mind exists. Everything that we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and feel isn't real. It only exists within our own minds. Solipsism comes from the Latin word which means self and ipsium, which means thing. Everything that we perceive to be real is merely a construct of our own minds. As far as we can know, our own mind is the only one that exists. The rest are all illusions. Our body is the only reality that we can be sure of. Other people, animals, and plants aren't conscious like us. Their actions are simply reaction to stimuli, nothing more. If this is true, then there is no such thing as free will. We cannot be held accountable for our actions because our actions are predetermined. In short, solipsism means that everything outside of our own minds are constructs of our own minds. Solipsism is an extreme form of subjectivism, which holds that the mind is the ultimate authority. Truth is relative to each individual and their experiences and feelings. What is true for one person may not necessarily be true for another person. Subjectivists argue that there is no objective standard of truth and that we can only know our own thoughts and feelings. They also argue that other people exist only if we believe that they do. They are simply figments of our imaginations. Solipsism is often confused with egocentrism. However, they are not the same thing. An egoist believes that they are the center of the universe. Everything revolves around them. However, a solipsist believes that they are alone in the universe and that everything else is an illusion. There are many objections to solipsism. The main objection is that it is self-refuting. If the only thing that we can be sure of is our own mind, then how can we be sure that our minds even exist? We could be brains in a vat for all we know. Another objection is that it is impossible to interact with others if we believe that they are only figments of our imagination. We would have to interact with ourselves, which is absurd. Finally, solipsism is unnecessary. Even if it were true, it wouldn't change the way that we live our lives. We would still have to interact with others as if they were real. So why bother believing in it? Solipsism is a fascinating philosophy, but it has some serious problems. It is self-refuting, unnecessary, and leads to absurdities. Therefore, it should be rejected. A common expression is, life is suffering. To say life is suffering is to say life is inherently filled with pain, sorrow, and stress. Pain is a physical sensation. Sorrow is an emotional response. Stress is a psychological state. All three are inevitable parts of the human experience. From the moment we are born, we begin to suffer. Our first experience is pain. We are ripped from the womb and immediately subjected to painful procedures such as circumcision. As we grow up, we experience the pain of growing pains, paper cuts, bee stings, and so on. We also experience the sorrow of losing the people we love, the stress of exams, and the disappointment of unfulfilled desires. Suffering is unavoidable. It is a fact of life. But why must we suffer? What is the purpose of suffering? This question has been pondered by philosophers for centuries. Some believe that suffering is a necessary part of life. They believe that it helps us to grow and develop as human beings. Others believe that suffering is meaningless. They believe that it is pointless, and that there is no reason why we should have to endure it. But the fact is that suffering is simply a part of life. There is no reason why we should have to endure it. The only reason why we do endure it is because we are weak. We are weak both physically and mentally. We are not strong enough to escape from the pain and suffering that life throws at us. We are not resilient enough to bounce back from the blows of fate. However, there is hope. We can become stronger. We can learn to cope with pain and suffering. We can learn to bounce back from adversity. We can learn to be resilient. The first step towards resilience is to accept that suffering is a part of life. We cannot escape from it. We cannot avoid it. The only thing we can do is go through it. The second step towards resilience is to learn how to deal with suffering. We need to learn how to cope with pain and suffering. We need to learn how to bounce back from adversity. We need to learn how to be resilient. The third step towards resilience is to use suffering as a source of strength. We can use our past suffering to fuel our future success. We can use our pain and suffering to make us stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate. In conclusion, life is full of suffering. There is no reason why we should have to endure it. But the only thing we can do is go through it. We need to learn how to deal with suffering. We need to learn how to bounce back from adversity. We need to learn how to be resilient. And we can use our past suffering to fuel our future success. We can use our pain and suffering to make us stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate. I am making this video so that you know that you are important. There is meaning to your life. Keep living and never give up. No matter how hard things get, never give up. Stay alive. There is always hope for a better tomorrow. Today you may feel like giving up. Things may seem too difficult, but try to hold on just a little bit longer. Tomorrow may bring a new hope that you didn't have today. Never give up. Life is beautiful. It's worth living. And there's always something to look forward to. So please stay alive. We don't usually think about how lucky we are to be alive. We go through our days on autopilot, not really thinking about how amazing it is that we are alive. We wake up in the morning and start our day without really appreciating the fact that we are alive. We go to work or school without really thinking about how amazing it is that we are able to do that. We spend time with our friends and family without really appreciating the fact that we are alive. We watch TV, use the internet, and play games without really thinking about how amazing it is that we are alive. Sometimes we get so caught up in our daily routines that we forget to appreciate the fact that we are alive. We start to take our lives for granted. But if we take a step back and really think about it, we are so lucky to be alive. Life is full of beauty and wonder. There is so much to appreciate if we only take the time to do so. When we look around us, we see beauty everywhere. The flowers and trees are beautiful. The mountains and rivers are beautiful. The stars and planets are beautiful. The world is full of beauty, and we are lucky to be able to see it. There is also so much to be curious about in this world. There is so much to learn and explore. We are lucky to be able to do that. Life is full of opportunities. There are so many different paths we can take in life. We can choose what we want to do and where we want to go. We are lucky to have that freedom. One of the most amazing things about life is that it is full of surprises. We never know what is going to happen next, and that is exciting. Life is a roller coaster ride, and we are lucky to be able to experience it. Life is also full of challenges. We will face many different obstacles in our lives, but those challenges are also part of what makes life so amazing. They force us to grow and change. They force us to become better versions of ourselves. Finally, life is full of love. We are capable of loving and being loved by others, and that is the most amazing thing about life. In conclusion, we are so lucky to be alive. Life is full of beauty, curiosity, opportunities, surprises, and love. So let's appreciate life while we have it. Let's enjoy every moment of it. Let's make the most of it. Life is a gift, and we are so lucky to have been given it. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it has helped you to see how amazing it is that we are alive. If you have not already done so, please subscribe. It really helps me to reach more people with my message. Also, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful day.